Ooh, it's the Clark the Shark show, baby. On Monday, I think it's March 26 or March 27, 2023. And it's sunny outside, but when Joy Division is on, it becomes gloomy and dark and mysterious. Oh man. What an album here. I mean, they must have thought I was insane or just a creepy guy sitting down in my room listening to this weird shit back in the 80s when I was young. Now, later on, many years after Joy Division, in this album that I fucking love, there would come a band called the Jesus and Mary Chain, which kind of redoes this and adds some melody and even more atmosphere. But, you can't beat the original. This is, I don't really call it punk or post punk. It's more some weird, dark, evil garage, like, I don't know, man. It's just so dark and mysteriously down. I mean, you actually feel depressed listening to this album. And it took me forever back in the 80s, to find. I couldn't find it at Go Boy and Redondo. They had a really shitty, scratched up version. And at the Rhodium in Torrance, I couldn't find it either. I mean, I looked all over. I went to San Pedro, Zed Records, Long Beach. I could never really find this album, Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division from 1980. And it should be called like Unknown Doom and Gloom because it's so dark and goth. I mean, seriously, if you listen to this album even now, I wouldn't recommend listening to it all by yourself because it can actually make you feel really bad and depressed. And it did that to me way back in the day too, but I loved it. Now, of course, Ian Curtis would famously kill himself. And I remember just thinking, man, dude, just, be like Keith Moon and make it an accident, bro. You don't need to, hang yourself in your kitchen or. It's sad, man. I shouldn't laugh, but I think he listened to too much Joy Division, and that was just the result. I mean, this is, where punk rock is kind of upbeat or just angry. This is like pointlessly doomy and gloomy. It just gets you down. But I don't know, man. It's kind of like the band Television. If you've ever heard that band, I really like them. And you get just a vibe. U2 was trying to be like this. And all kinds of bands, The Cure and the Bauhaus and man, back in the 80s, that whole dark, gloomy goth movement, it all comes from this. I mean, let's face it, people. You could say it comes from punk. This is punk, but it's like dark, evil punk, underground, but the production's really good. I mean, I like the drum sound and the use of the electronic drums and the echo on everything and just this gloomy, doomy, evil underground. All these songs, it's going to get 5 stars, I guarantee you. Oh yeah, baby. Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. You can hear the influence in Greenhouse Effect, 22nd Street, my song from 1991. Definitely is a tribute to the weird layers of guitar of bands like Television and, maybe early U2 and Joy Division and The Cure and the Jesus and Mary Chain and all that shit, the Bauhaus and New Model Army back in the 80s. Clark the Shark loved it all, and I heard it on old KNAC before it went metal. Down there, down in the dungeon at 251 Paseo de Gracia, right across the street from Bill Watt of Prop 13, the lead singer, and of course me, Clark the Shark. I was the lead singer, just all around Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades guy in the Greenhouse Effect. And both of our amazing bands were from Torrance, Redondo Beach, and just different. We were buddies when we were little kids, but we went different directions as we grew. But very much we were both into punk and, and stuff like Joy Division and songs like Disorder and Side 1 is gloomy. I mean, you're going to listen to this and you'll be like, Clark the Shark, this all sounds the same. It's repetitious. And that might be true, but it's very atmospheric and gloomy. Day of the Lord's Candidate. These songs mean something to me. New Dawn Fades. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's repetition. If you listen to it a lot, you're going to get depressed. And I don't know, you can't really get any joy out of this division. I mean, they are just really a downer. They're like Debbie Downer on steroids, man. But I love She's Lost Control and Shadow Play and Wilderness. Man, takes me back to South High, 1981, 82, 83. And, I had to own this. And my massive vinyl collection, I think I would only play this album like once a week because it's just too depressing. And I just didn't want to get that depressed. I enjoyed being down and depressed. But, I think The Cure and the Jesus and Mary Chain and those other bands kind of made you feel uplifting. You were down and depressed, but they took Joy Division and made it a little more joyful. But this is really dark. And I've met many girls into this, and they're always nice, sweet girls, but when they listen to this, they get dark and mysterious, kind of like me, Clark the Shark, at 1-800-449-8255. I'm not sure if I want you to buy this album or listen to Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures, because you're not really going to get pleasure out of this. You're just going to get depressed. But try it out, you guys. If you want to go back to the 80s, back to Clark the Shark in 1982, 83, when I was 17 and 18. I loved everything, man. I would try anything. Any band, I would just go buy it, and I had to hear it just to see, what do these guys do? What does Bad Religion do? What does Black Flag do? What is The Clash and all these bands and The Damned and Joy Division? What do they do? And they make you depressed and angry and sad, and they make you lose your religion and lose your brain and lose all your happiness. But if you're lucky to make it through the depressed, gloomy 80s, now you'll be stronger and better for it later on when you get into other stuff, But I still like hearing this even today, like on DirecTV 8 tracks late at night or wherever, just on, internet radio. But I can really only take one or two Joy Division songs. They've only got really 2 albums and an EP, but Warsaw's really good. I love that song. And, Dance to the Radio, of course, is fucking awesome. I love that. But don't listen to too much of this, you guys. Because it's, It's like it's depressing. It is. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this artwork. It's like these lines, and then in the middle they get like that's your life. You know, you're going along like here. You're doing just fine, and then suddenly you get to this part where it just gets a little creaky and twisted, and you get through it, and then if you're lucky to get through it, you go back to this dull, back to this dull life. You started here and you were dull, but then you heard some Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures, and this happened to you. You got all fucked up, but then you made it through and you went back to this again, This was your life at 1-800-449-8255. The fabulous Clark the Shark Show, where if you want to be depressed and down, but kind of joyous too, and kind of happy, and just celebrate in the gloom and misery that is life. And sometimes when life just gets dark and bleak, you just see this image here, and you see Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures, 1980. Don't get too down, you guys. Just listen to this, all the songs. Side 1, side 2. I mean, look at it. It's so dark. It's hopeless. It's just like a dark black void. And I'm so sad that Ian Curtis felt he had to kill himself over his wife or something, or miscommunication with his wife, or it's sad, man, because I think he had a little baby, and he wasn't really a guy. I mean, he's a talented artist, and he's dark, and he was mysterious. And I'm like, dude, why would you do that? And I'm like, Clark the Shark here. I'm talking to you guys straight from the heart. Straight from the heart of the guy from the Greenhouse Effect, man. You won't get more depressed and down than me. Don't kill yourselves, you guys. Just listen to Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures from 1980. Oh, look, they call it post-punk, gothic punk. I don't know, man. To me, this is just dark, depressing. Oh, it's just, disorder is just, oh man, it's just dark. It's evil. I love the drum sound, the little echo on the snare. It almost sounds like electronic drums or something, like synsonic drums, but it's not. It's studio drums with all these little effects and tricks on it. And they were trying to capture that sound like David Bowie, Speed of Life, or those David Bowie albums with Eno, in Berlin. You could tell these guys really liked it. Side 1 especially, but side 2 is just as gloomy and depressing with these beats, just these 4/4 dark beats. It's so evil and dark. She's lost control. It's like industrial evil dark. I love it. Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures, you guys. 1980. I do want you to buy this album and support the estate of Ian Curtis, one of my heroes from this dark, evil band. And listen to DirecTV because they play 8 tracks, because they will slip in some Joy Division. It's good stuff. It's not punk. It's dark underground. It's really original. There really wasn't a band like this except for maybe Television and a couple of others. But this is dark and brooding, and it's just this brooding dark sound. It's not really garage. It's polished. It's professional. But it's like professional darkness, doom and gloom. But it's these 4/4 beats that are they just keep going. They're just, they're repetitive and they're relentless, but the beats are nice. And this drummer, man, this guy, he was an influence on me. Oh man, I love all 4 of these guys. The guitar, oh, is it like Television from Bernard Sumner? Yeah, dude. Sumner, I love that name. Like my buddy Sumner Wright from Torrance, Redondo Beach, when I was a little kid. Sumner. Ian Curtis, he's so dark and evil. And Peter Hook plays a Rickenbacker, you guys. Love Rickenbacker. And Stephen Morris, just a great drummer. Dark snare drum with the effects on it. I love the darkness and the evil underground gothic. Oh, it's like a vampire's just gonna come out and bite you. Bite you and give you the disease of suicide with Joy Division. Oh, it's so evil. 1-800-449-8255, the fabulous Clark the Shark Show from the golden EIB Sharkraphone, the Wolfman Jack on crack. And I'm telling you guys, you want to hear a dark, evil, industrial, gloomy, punk, post-punk, dreary, melancholy. Don't let anyone catch you listening to it because they're going to worry about you. And they might just take you to a doctor and get you some Prozac or some, like, Zoloft. You're going to need it, man, after listening to Unknown Pleasures, 1980, by the fabulous Ian Curtis and Joy Division. The most evil album ever recorded. I can't say this is good, clean fun, you guys, because these songs are dark, brooding. If you're in a bad mood, don't listen to this. Seriously, don't, because this will possess you. It will take over your soul. It will, and you will want to write a song like this, like these. When I wrote 22nd Street and Racers, man, every song from the early GE with Phil Keegan on guitar, I wanted to be like Joy Division, you know, singing about dark, evil suicide in an underground garage, like Racers or 22nd Street. Like, oh, the children are playing in the distance and they're having fun, but you're oh so all alone in your room, just burning a clove cigarette or smoking a joint, but you're so depressed you don't even want a joint. You just want to drink some whiskey all alone in your room. But don't take any pills with it, please. Don't do it. At 1-800-449-8255, because Joy Division and this thing, this artwork, this artwork will just take you away, man. Your life was, remember, your life was good here. But then you got here. You don't want to go there, because if you're lucky, you'll get back to the real world again, where you'll just be working a job, cleaning pools or cleaning windows or planting flowers or mowing lawns. But in between, you went through this. You felt Unknown Pleasures by Ian Curtis and Joy Division. It's so evil. Oh, it's so... This is dark. That's life right there, you guys. 1-800-449-8255, the Clark the Shark Show. This is your life. If you can get back and find God or find prayer, I recommend that you do, because you'll get caught up in this. You don't want to get caught up there. At 1-800-449-8255. Joy Division. Oh, yes. Love this album, you guys. Go buy it. Don't listen to it too much. It is dark. It really is dark, and it really is evil, you guys. This is dangerous music. But it's good. It's atmospheric. Ambiance. It paints a dark picture. But it's a beautiful, lovely, dark portrait. But don't listen too much. Just listen to a little Joy Division, because you don't want too much of this. It's like too many pills or too much medicine. Too many spoonfuls of... Your mother's like, come here, I'm giving you a spoonful of this, of Joy Division. Unknown Pleasures. You won't find pleasure with this Joy Division. No way. You're going to be divided from joy. At 1-800-449-8255, the Clark the Shark Show. Listen at your own risk, people. Venture if you dare into the dark, evil world of Joy Division Unknown Pleasures. Ah!